Have you ever submitted a photo to prestigious photo contest, but the photo didn't advance? So I have been judging Bird Photographer of the Year, Nature Photographer of the Year, and Share the View. The photos that are submitted usually are really good. There were just a few mistakes that seems small, but is actually deadly. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 things that I have learned so that once you know it, hopefully you can avoid those mistakes. First, a lot of people mistook wildlife photography as something very simple, and it's actually difficult. For example, when you go to a music store and buy a piano, and when you press on the keys, the sound is very disgusting. However, for cameras, take some photos and people will tell you, oh my God, you should be Nat Geo photographer. So a lot of us would just go into the field, purchase some workshops and tours and stuff. It is like, I tell you, in a month, you're going to fight the heavyweight boxing champs, Mike Tyson in his prime. What would you do? Would you go into the gym and punch on the sandbag 10,000 times a day and hope that things would work? We were told how to nail the focus, get a shutter speed, but in the field, just look at my background here. This is usually how wilderness is. It looks like there are patches of grass here, sand everywhere, and wind is blowing. We've never been told how to really handle those things. And you might think, but Tin Man, I thought as long as we nail that perfect shot with like decent background, good lights, then that's it. But the reality is not like that. These are actually like punches from Mike Tyson. You thought that you're gonna just do one punch like that, but then before your punch hits, you get a side punch by him. Before you know it, you fell unconscious, right? It is very important to know when you go into the field, what are the effects of each of the elements in the frame affecting your photo. And so many photographers, when they go to places in Kenya, Tanzania, Alaska, they will come back with 100,000 photos. They just didn't realize that all these little things are affecting their photos. One time we were judging a contest and it's a beautiful bird photo, and one of the judges said that this photo is just perfect, but my eyes just keep on moving to the upper left side because there is like this really annoying bright spot. I said, so you mean if the photographer just used a little bit of dodging and burning in post-processing, then the movement of the viewer's eyes would be smooth and that photo could win? And the judge said, yeah. So that's it. Can you imagine the photographer who took this photo and their photo didn't win? They would feel that, maybe this is not for me. Maybe the contest is not fair. And times and again, there are people who ask me about that. And the reason is this kind of mistakes could cause the problem. And the thing is, like, with Tin Man, how can the judges be like that? Because what we are doing is not about documentary, like the most rare moment in wilderness. We are talking about visual art. Visual art is about the feeling you create in your photo in the heart of the viewers, right? So if there is anything that affected that, then the photo is not gonna work. So once I realized that, I really dig deep into what are those little things that affect the photos. And one of my previous clients, Tori, she was trying to get into Nat Geo on some of her photos. Since I have been judging for so many photos, I knew that just by changing a little bit of the composition, you can remove some of the obstacles in the photo, and the photo was picked up by Nat Geo, was published. And there was another photographer, her photo, the same thing. There is a penguin jumping off the cliff in Antarctica. I said, the placement of the penguins may have a little bit of issue right here. Do you know what people are looking at when just show them a random photo? People usually would look around the corner and then they will go into the middle, right? If the subject is placed right in the middle, guess what happens? Their eyes are not moving. When the eyes are not moving, humans would feel like, it's just boring, because they want to wander around to feel that it's more dynamic, right? It's just by moving the subjects a little bit off the center. So I was telling her this is how you can put the placement, and then there are a few other little things that you have to make sure. For example, some of the textures of the snow, some of the colors that was hidden in the raw file. So you gotta bring it out similar to what you actually saw in the field. That photographer eventually submitted the photo and it won a category in a very prestigious bird photography contest. These tiny little mistakes can make or break a photo. And once I learned it, I was able to win a lot of awards and help a lot of my students. But after judging for 5 years and then talking to all the legendary photographers who are the judges, a lot of them, they are genius. And I'm not a genius. I love to break it down. It could be the composition, it could be certain editing that you didn't really bring out the potential. But then for a lot of the judges and editors, they have seen so many photos and they instantly knew that, oh, okay, this is a no-go. I have seen so many great photos that could have changed the world helping these animals, but because some of the photographers was not receptive that photography is a visual art and visual art needs to have a transfer of emotion, and transfer of emotion means that you have to get rid of all the negative emotion, meaning that distractions and stuff that I talk about in the BCS model that I'll put a link at the end of the video. But then that is just the beginning. Some of the photographers, they watch my video and think that, okay, Tim, man, I know all the BCS, the broccoli, the sirens, the chop, and my photos are gonna be good. But no, that is only the very, very beginning of the whole journey of the mastery. You need a lot more. Some of the other genre of photographers, what they would say is that what you can do is zoom out of your photo so that it becomes like a small thumbnail and then turn it upside down. So once you turn the photo upside down, the profile of the animal is gone. Now you are focusing on the brightness, the darkness, the color temperature, the lines and patterns and stuff, and really see if there are anything in the frame and that attracts the attention that you don't want from the viewers. And if that happens, chances are the judges don't like it either, or the editors don't like it, or the viewers don't like it. And then you might have to rethink about the whole composition, or maybe the photo is just a no-go. A lot of those things can be fixed as well. So don't throw away the photo and say, oh, now I know that, hey man, I know that my eyes are being like led to certain areas, so the photo is a no-go. So there is a lot of things that you could do that is still abiding by the rules of the contest. Just like the example I told you about that the photographer's photo of the bird, the flying bird, almost won, but it didn't. It's just this small mistake. So your photo could be so close to a Nat Geo publication winning a lot of prestigious award, but just like this, just this tiny thing, it can be ruining it. So what I want to share with you is, instead of getting 100,000 photos with amazing lions, bears, realize that sometimes a simple photo of some of the most common species could be even more powerful if you know how viewers feel about your photos, and every element in that photo can make or break that photo. So hope that helps, and make sure to check out my BCS model to get rid of those negative feelings first, and I'll see you in the next video.